All right. Good morning, everybody. We'll get started here probably in about 2 minutes or so. We'll just give you a little bit more time to get in here. And things may look just a tad bit different to you, so let's get used to them just really quick. I am going to pull up an advancers right above my face right here on the left-hand side is going to be the advancers for the day. So we'll be checking those out. Get that a little bit straighter there. There we go. And we're going to pull this up. Yeah, let's put this right here. So I'll be watching this. And we'll pull that down. It's about right there. All right. So we'll have advancers in the upper left-hand corner. My face right here. Just ignore this stuff in here. And then over to the right. Let's go ahead and get you familiar with this. Basically, this screen right here is just the charts that I'll be viewing and sharing with you. So right here. And then over here on the right hand side looks a little bit different. Let's go over this really fast. This is just for today. I'm going to keep this on here and go over this with you. So this is four of the, let's see, five. Give me 1 second here. So right here, this is my futures, okay, auto alerts that come with a stop. And then basically this lower number where it says close, this would be the entry and or close to that for an entry. All right. And then over here on the right hand side, this is specifically just the SPX bot. Okay, so this SPX is also working off my methodology to create buy and sell orders. Okay, stops, same thing here. And then closer to the bottom or the close is where I want to enter if I were to choose to take this trade. On the lower portion here, these are actual trades from my brokerage account. Okay, and the ones that I'm showing today is going because it's Friday, right? I'm trading with my smaller account, and this would be this account here. It even says small account. Again, straight from my brokerage account. This is going to come in with the price I pay, the position I buy, and then once I close, it will show whether it's a positive trade or a negative. Negative trades are actually red. They don't have a plus or minus sign. The green means I made money, kind of like this one over here. And you can see the same thing. The name of the ticker, it's very easy to read, and it actually comes down with the exact time that I've taken the trade for any concern there. So again, these are brokerage trades on the bottom. The only alerts that you're not seeing here are going to be in my large account because most likely I'm not going to do anything with my large account today. So that is the format for today's trading. So let's go ahead and get started with the ES futures. Again, happy Friday, everybody. Don't forget, again, don't lose your ass on a Friday, right? We've been saying that for many, many years. John Carter uses that phrase. I love it, and it really rings home for a lot of traders, right? So depending on how your week's gone, I like to go off of sentiment, and I'll tell you, I felt like kind of bad yesterday. I was talking to somebody, what I do here, I have a passion for trading, right? But just because I have a good day does not mean that everybody else has a good day. And I think that that's where confusion comes in. So this is an education platform, and the alerts are used for proof of concept. They're also used for transparency, right? So, in saying that, it's very important, okay, to understand just because you're having a good day doesn't mean everybody else is. And so, believe it or not, that makes me sad because I live for the passion of seeing people grow. So trading is really personal, isn't it? It can be sensitive at times. So just because you have a good day doesn't mean that you're happy inside. It kind of goes with that whole thing. Just because you may think you're wealthy or you are wealthy doesn't make you a happy person, right? So it's all about a mindset. And I want to see everybody succeed and grow together. So before we get started today, let me reiterate, today is Friday. I have had a good week. I think my win rate is above 90% for this week. I do not want to give away profits. So what I will be using today is my small account and my spreads account. My small account and my spreads account. Okay? And most likely, unless I say something differently, what I pay for my trades today will be my risk. Does that make sense? If I pay 50 cents for an option and I buy 5 of them, unless I say otherwise or unless you see I get stopped out, then $250 is my risk for that trade. All right? Let's just get that out there. All right? So please understand that. All right. Over here, you will see everything that I enter and or get stopped out of. And up here, these trades I do not necessarily take, but they are here to give you guidance on certain buy and sell signals that I have. Let's go ahead and get started with the ES futures, just like every morning. All right, this is my gauge for the entire market. I have created a new blueprint. I want you to go ahead and take a look at this. We're going to work from a 4-hour, and I may show you a couple more time frames just to give you an idea where we are in the week. Because yesterday we had a nice pullback, and I think a lot of people were shocked. I felt like I came in with hardly any positions. We just kind of intraday trade. We closed some BA for profits, and then we traded some puts and calls yesterday, and did well on those entries and exits. ES futures, what's going on? We have a little bit of divergence between current price and the cloud. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. All right, you can see right here, this is your divergence. This is support for right now. So for right now, my expected range is going to come somewhere into this red box. And if we lose support, you could see price move down into 43.55 by 43.39. Notice, right now, we are creating somewhat of a base. If you look over and to the left, all right, Arthur, you were asking about this earlier, okay? So from a 4-hour perspective, price has come into an inside and up. You following that? All right, so we found support there. So when my signals come through, I'm thinking, okay, we may still be below the cloud, all right? But we are at an inside and up, and if the risk fits your risk tolerance, then I can take that trade. Okay? So I'm always looking at different time frames and so forth. So there's got to be some discretion right there, right? All right. So this is the 4-hour. What I'm seeing so far is we are sideways. We are opening into resistance. All right. We already got there. We had the buy signals, right? We pushed up into resistance, and now as the market is getting closer to open, this is what happens, right? So in a down cycle, what you'll see, or a sideways cycle, you'll see a push up overnight, and right when people are getting excited and retail traders are ready to trade, guess what happens? They push you right into resistance, right? We teach this and we learn this every single day, and I really hope that you guys are really attaching to this, because it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? It really does. So once you start to understand the mindset of the market, then this is no surprise to you. Okay? So what do we do on open? Well, it's pretty straightforward. We stay still. We stay patient. We look for support on lower levels. All right. And once we start to see that prices can move over some of our indicators and we start to get some buy signals, then we'll look to go long. If for some reason we break the support, we get short signals, then we start to go short. Okay. All right. So let's look at the daily just really quick. It's sideways action. Overall sentiment, I put it out there, guys. The skew is saying, we're at a level of risk on. The dollar and the TNX, all right, it's telling me to be cautious. So we have a mixed bag here. And basically today I would expect chop with maybe a few bursts up, of upside and downside. It's just going to be choppy. So again, I think that today is really important to be taking profits a little bit sooner than what you are used to. 20%, maybe even 10%, all right? 10, 20, 30, 50, anything over that is a blessing, right? And you pull those stops up and you try to have a good time, all right? All right, so here is the daily. Let's just talk about it. Yesterday, we had these topping wicks. We actually discussed this before the morning opened. I told you this would be important. This is your guide for the rest of the market. This has been a very difficult spot to get past. Notice that this wick came into the topping wicks, and therefore this is supply in this area. If we were to break it down, we have an inside and down here, so you should already know to be pumping the brakes in here. Okay? All right, so price breaks down. We actually make the inside and down. We pull back. We have a continuation candle as of right now on the daily. Continuation candle. All right. It is a continuation candle until we can break above the resistance, folks. So again, sideways to down, choppy until we can start to break above key levels. For anybody that's not thinking long, well, we need to break down below this pivot low, which is your next target to the downside of around 43.55 and a quarter. If we break down below there, expect price to trickle down into the green box. And from there, I will be looking for buy signals, but will not take a buy unless we reclaim and start to get buy signals. Okay? Very straightforward. Let's see what's happening as far as damage on the weekly. Well, guess what? Another continuation candle down. That's not like the best look, is it? We want to go inside at some point. So once again, price needs to get over this yellow line for the weekly to go inside. That would be a better look for us bulls, right? That's a better look. We can go inside and potentially inside and up. Now, I want to reiterate, when we did the broad market analysis for this week, we did it last weekend to get you prepared for this week. We specifically said I was looking for the market to go from red to green on Monday, and that somewhere in there we get a 2 to 4 day rally. I didn't lie to you. We got a 2-day rally, right? But it was really important to just kind of, take your profits, go into the market, not put too much on as a swing position, and come in fresh and ready for the next day. Okay? So that's exactly what's going on here. We're getting ready for round 2 of earnings. Okay, round 2 of earnings, meaning I feel like we're coming back into a little bit more demand. And then as we create more of a range and playing field, this will set us up for a good week next week. All right. And again, I'll be sending that broad market out either tomorrow early in the morning or Sunday morning. Okay, one of the two, so we're prepared for next week. All right. Let's go ahead and go into the NASDAQ futures really quick. I also have these on alert right now. Let's go ahead and come over here. And let's see, far as we got 2 new messages. We had a sell signal on the NASDAQ. And yeah, there we go. All right, so over here, the same thing, it looks the same. We're coming down into some targets that we created. We have a continuation candles down. We're at our last target to the downside. I think this was for demonstration purposes yesterday. This is our target down here that we're hitting. And if we were to break down below there, what I would do is take one of these and move it down to the bottom of this base candle, because this is a lot of buying pressure in here. And if you wanted to create a box around that, you could just come up underneath that and just do something like this. Okay. So kind of like the ES futures, if we start to break down below this pivot low, look for price to move back down into that 1335. Okay. So that's NASDAQ futures. Let's look at it from a 4-hour. A couple things to take into consideration on the ES and the NASDAQ is that you are underneath the cloud. Okay, this is resistance until proven otherwise. And you are currently resting on a target or support. All right. Are we pretty straight on that? Everybody understand that? We are at some mid support and we have resistance not too far above. Put buyers, important to understand this. I know it sounds easy in hindsight, but it's not. We demonstrate that every day, don't we? It's easier to buy puts in the cloud on the time frame that you're using than it is on the downside. Okay? We want to be buying puts when we push up into resistance, and we want to be buying calls as we pull back into support. Okay? Support over breakout. The breakouts are getting stuffed in most cases. All right? I think you guys would agree with that. All right, a couple things that I'm looking at besides those ES and NASDAQ futures. Let's go over here to airlines. AAL is on my list for today. This is a trade plan. There's 2 different ways to look at this. I can intraday trade this, Or I can look at a possible swing. I don't really like the swing environment. So it's an intraday trade until proven otherwise. What does that mean? That means if we take a trade and it works, I personally have my own rule for right now. If I can't get over 100%, I really don't want to hold the trade in my larger account, my swing account. Okay. So 50%, 60%, I'm trimming, right? I'm trimming. And then if it doesn't get 100%, then I'm closing it before the end of the day. I want something to be free, right? In this environment. I'm not willing to take the risk at the moment, unless it's puts, right? So I have long-term puts, and that's about it for right now. All right. So what does this look like? Well, this is a box, and this is identifying some structure over here where I'd expect buyers to show up. And if price can hold above the green box, look for it to push. Notice that it's not like this huge gainer, but it's American Airlines. The options are a little bit less expensive. The moves are a little bit smaller, but I'm looking for these targets up here. And obviously the bigger target, if we can clear this topping wick here and this pivot high, my swing targets would be 24. All right, 24. All right, as far as the stop is concerned, this stop would not be considered for today because, I mean, if you're jumping in at 20 and a half and you get stopped at 18 using a weekly option, I mean, you're at zero. All right. So unless you're taking a weekly trade or a Friday trade and you're okay with zero, then the stop would make sense. But this is more or less for a swing trade. So this is your risk down here at 18 and some change, and your reward is 24.64. All right. That's what I'm looking at on American Airlines. DE, let's talk about it really quick. All right, this is DE. I really liked this, and this was going to be a bigger trade for me, and I didn't get around to it. Jay, I see you're in here as well, and I think that you had brought it up, right? We're talking about putting like 20 grand on this trade, and I think we missed like probably $8 to the upside. But now I see it, and it's pulling back a little bit. And I think that a lot of these like names such as DE, XLE, energy names, and so forth, I think that if you're just now coming into them, it feels a little late. Not late as in a long term, late as in the midterm. Like I think they need to digest. So I don't want to get caught trying to go long some of these right now. I want to give them a period of digestion. So yeah. So let's give it a little bit of time. But what this is a possible Friday fun trade. We'll buy cheap options here if we pull back. So for me, it'd be a limit order. I'm going to look at my option chain, look at a strike. Most likely that strike would be like up here towards 420, but I wouldn't execute it unless price is less than or equal to below 416, 415. Does that make sense? So price must drop into this green box or I don't do anything. All right. And the reason why I don't want to buy it here is because we're right underneath resistance. Okay. So that's what's going on there. All right, so let's see here. Mike, you want to look at Snap 100%, man, because I don't want to. And just real quick, everybody, obviously I'm going to be looking at SPY and QQQ. So you guys all know we do the neutral strategy here as well. So for especially beginners, I feel like this makes it super easy. So anyone that's coming in here, I provide these type of charts over the weekend. And these get you prepared. Like literally, you could set up OCOs. Everything's already here for you. All you do is go long over the top of the number here, and it's based on methodology of Fibonacci's supply and demand and so forth. And you could see, you're hitting T1, hitting T2, and right here you wait for the breakout. You hit T1, T2, almost T3 on both of these. Either way, we had some winners in here this week, so we'll be watching this. I'll be watching this. I may take a trade in the SPYs or the Qs. Okay. All right, let's look at SNAP. What did they do, Mike? I didn't even look. Right? I thought I saw an article that they were down like 20 something percent, and maybe that article came out as soon as it dipped. Right? As far as like spreads, like they screwed everybody. The implied volatility was 500 and something percent. It might have gone up before the end of the day, but I know that midday It was at 500 and something percent. Oh, it's at 796%, guys. I mean, if you took a trade here, yeah, you got smashed. We're talking iron condors, baby. If you sold iron condors, you did very well. The people that tried to go long or short this, they're going, they're probably crying right now. And this is a great example of, buying something 800% over value, you know. They drove the car off the lot on this thing. Anyways, so, what do I have to say about Snap? Honestly, Mike, after the earnings, man, I mean, there's nothing to really say, right? There's like no move. So it'd be the same thing if I said something yesterday when price was moving. It is making higher lows, okay, from the demand zone, right? It's making higher lows. It came back to this zone several times before the earnings. Typically, this is a sign of accumulation. All right. Now, the way that this market is going, I hear of tons of people accumulating things such as gold bars and silver bars and land, dirt, right? But far as Snap is concerned, I really don't know. I feel like it's accumulating at this level, but what does the future of the market look like? Are we accumulating for the next 2 years? Far as the intraday trade, I think that's where you want to be at. So let's just go down to a smaller time frame really quick, okay? For me, it's a short until it breaks over the cloud, Mike. That's what I mean. That's just me, man. But I know you're great on your entries, so I probably wouldn't be looking at um, going short unless we push up here. Let's see, sold a premium on Snap. I see Ben also sold some iron condors. Yeah. So, I mean, you got to, right? Yeah, so you should be fine, man. Right now, it doesn't look like much is going on. I think the market's sideways, and I think you just get a little bit of chop here. Later on in the session, we might see some trend. So, yeah. Some other strong names in the market here as of lately. Walmart's been pretty strong. If you guys have any other charts that you want me to look at, please tell me now. Because we got only 7 minutes left. So Walmart, notice that the 4-hour cloud is working really well with this. It's stair stepping. It's doing its thing. I gave a target not too long ago. It hit that target to the T and came back down. It needs to reclaim 161.10 before you think about anything else. And if it starts to break down, leave it alone until it gets back to around 156 or so. All right. Some really weak stuff out there, folks. It's just a matter of like staying really patient. Oil futures, we had yesterday. I was looking for the fade. We talked about, I was at a party and some gentlemen were thinking it was going back to 125 or so. Possible. I think I said that you can maybe see that. But by the way, every time I do this, I get pumped up. I think this is oil futures, but this is actually Colgate Palmolive. And we noticed this not too long ago. So, really quick, this is a very bullish chart. All right, on CL, not oil futures, but check this out. My target right now, we talked about this the other day, is 84.25. Notice how it came off the trendy edges. Absolutely stunning. All right, you could see how well these edges work, and this is my target now. All right, let's get in here to actually look at oil futures just really quick. All right, so check out this chart that we also gave here. Perfect. You can see the levels are working really well. You don't want to be long oil. It came right up to my resistance level, and this goes to show you that we definitely know how to find the right targets here. All right, so please take that into consideration. I honestly wouldn't be thinking about oil unless I get a buy signal and it starts to break above the cloud here. And let's see, I'm going to go with, I'm going to put this on a 10-minute. And I'm going to set an alert to go to the room. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. So this will give me some buy and sell signals. So be prepared for that if you're a futures trader. And they'll pop up over here in your upper left-hand corner. All right, so overall, let me just reiterate, just in case you're getting in late, guys. My overall sentiment right now is choppy, sideways to down. The biggest thing that I will be watching are the ES futures. Let's go ahead and get over there to a 5 minute. Okay, we're going to come over here. We'll be looking at SPX as well, but I may not come in on SPX trade until the end of the day. You know what I mean? Especially on a choppy day. We'll see. We'll see. I could change my mind in like 2 minutes. All right. And once we open up here, we'll be looking for the PMZ or the pre-market zone. Right now, you can see your risk is 3.9, guys, on the pre-market zone strategy. So we'll wait until that pops up. And let's see here. We had an NQ sell. We got 3 minutes. Let's look real quick. So NQ, just to kind of demonstrate the alerts. You know, let's just go to a 5 minute. You can see here, it was giving us a sell signal. Now it's popping up. It's just choppy right before I open. So I'm sure it made a little bit of money there, but just choppy. All right, let's see here. See, my buddy Ben is jumping on here in a few. Yeah, we may look at some NVIDIA and AMD with him. And then I'm doing a couple things with my developer in the background. So we're going to be really nice and calm and just kind of hang out together. So happy Friday. Good luck to everybody. We have 2 minutes left. And let's see if my dogs come say hi, or maybe my wife will come by and say hi as well. Hopefully she'll remember the camera's on. Yeah, June USO puts. Nice, Jay. Smart, man. Honestly. Oh, that's what I need to do. I need to light my candle. Knew I was missing something. You guys ever seen these lighters? These are the coolest lighters ever. See that? They're pretty cool. They're not like a flame. It's like almost looks like a cattle prod or something. It's kind of interesting. Have you ever seen those? Seriously, pretty neat. I told you, my friend, man, she's really into candles. I feel like kind of bougie with my whole candle setup. I got this thing that like clips the wicks and all that crazy stuff. All right, nice little breakdown there. And we could, let's see, I'm gonna come over here. I only want to concentrate on like 3 charts today. So I'm going to oops, change this really quick. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do like 3. Come back to this here in a second after we watch the ES futures for a bit. And let's make sure we have the PMZ turned on. We do. Let's go ahead and turn on the edges, the line in the sand, and let's get some levels in here. There we go. Yeah, notice that price was also trying to open up at the trendy edge there. We got a sell signal. And I have my buy and sell signals on a different time frame than what you're looking at here. I got advancers in the upper left-hand screen. Yep, snaps down about, I don't know, a little bit. Let's see, our XHB is actually up this morning. Our long-term long-term puts. Advancers open up at a measly 740 points, guys. At this point, it's a sell the push. We'll see how that lasts, though. Not trying to make any quick decisions here. Anybody got any good plans over the weekend? I hope so. Remember, our grandpa's in town, Ashley's grandpa. We'll be going out on the boat today, actually. Let's keep our fingers crossed that the winds stay down. Prime rib and company for dinner. That's what I'm talking about. Man, Roberto, just chilling. Right. Let's see here. I'm actually going